Hi guys, Nadeja here. Welcome to my channel, Live and Align. I was asked to do, so recently I was on a panel called Life After Divorce, and I was actually asked by one of the panel members, or it was a suggestion, that I should go ahead and do a video on a comment that I made. We were all giving pointers and information on life after divorce and what we learned, how we would do things different, what advice would we give to single people, and things of that nature. And I suggested, because I was talking from my own personal life experience, I said, do not get married to avoid fornication. Now, immediately when I said that, one of the pastors raised their hand really quickly and they were going to correct me. But I corrected myself because I knew it was coming. Being a previous Bible thumper that I was, I do believe in the Bible, and for the most part, I'll say that I don't treat people the way I used to regarding the scriptures. I don't judge people for how they live their life. I don't try to save people. I don't do that anymore. I live my life and I let people live theirs. When people ask me what I believe, how I believe, I don't mind telling them why I believe what I do. However, I don't get on people and try to control them anymore by telling them what they should be doing according to my level of experience and knowledge. I don't do that anymore. So she told me, she said, you should do a page on that. You should do a video on that. And the topic was, do not get married to avoid fornication. The reason that I said that was because a few of us did that. A few of us were dating and or courting someone was courting us, and we were in that stage, and we felt that it was best to get married to avoid fornication. Now, we already wanted to get married. We just did not check off the other we didn't check off the other boxes that go with that. See, what happens is this, okay? Let me see if I can explain it. So when you're looking to get married to somebody, and I'm not an expert, I'm just giving you my advice from my marriage previously and what I did and what I would do different. When you're going to get married to someone, they should be your friend. Okay? They should be your friend. Number one. Number two, there should be a high level of compatibility. A high level of compatibility, not just a couple of things that y'all talked about that y'all actually got along on with just talking topics. There should actually be a lot of compatibility there between the two of you. I mean, you're literally talking about spending the rest of your life with this person. So there should be a good level of compatibility there. There should also be a good family dynamic where, you know, you're knowing his family or learning about his family. He's learning about your family. There's so many different areas, and I'm not going to go into it. I'm not going to even pretend to act like I'm a counselor. I'm just talking from my own experience. So don't come for me in the comments, guys. Seriously. Because when it comes down to it, a lot of times people, they act like what you said was law or written in stone. I'm simply giving my testimony, my example of what I went through. I know where I went wrong. I know exactly where I went wrong. But a lot of times people, to avoid fornication, are like, well, let's just get married. And they don't realize that when you come together with somebody, and that's like the foundational basics of your marriage, you're going to have problems. You're absolutely going to have problems, because what's going to happen is you are actually, the foundation's messed up. I mean, yeah, you might have feelings for the person, but the foundation's messed up. You absolutely will have problems, because sex isn't everything. It's truly not. It's truly not everything. And when you stop and you look at it and you say, okay, I know people, men, who like, we got married because we thought that was the right thing to do. And for the most part, it is. If you love someone and you guys want to be together, you should absolutely be planning to get married. But you have to make sure that other things are in place. You can't just be like, well, we're going to get married. We got married because we didn't want to fornicate. But now we're arguing all the time and we don't get along. We don't like each other. We're having all these problems. Yeah, because think about it. Do you spend most of your time in the bedroom? Do you spend all your time in that? No, you don't. You spend most of your time living life, having to do bills, kids, responsibilities, different things have to come together. You have to literally merge your lives together. You're literally merging two lives together. All the issues that he has are coming together with all the issues that you have. And of course, you're supposed to do premarital counseling, right? It's supposed to be some type of counseling that you should do, or some type of walk or preparation that you both should do together to get you ready for marriage. People really do the most, and they do the most for the wedding, but they don't stop and think about what comes after the wedding is a marriage. It's literally, people spend so much time on bridesmaids dresses and invitations and cakes and venue and all that. And after that, then what? After that, you have to stop and realize you are literally, when everybody goes home and you put your dress in a pretty little, covering and hang it in the closet, and you send out all your thank you cards to all of the people who came to your wedding, and you're looking over the bill or the remnant if you weren't wise enough to pay in advance or to have a budget for it in advance, and now you have a debt. Now you have a lot of money that you guys went into debt to have this special day, which is great. No, it's not great. Let me change that. That's not great. I'm a strong advocate for build up the money that you want to use for a wedding. Don't go into debt for a special day where you spend thousands and thousands of dollars for one day. I think that's the most ridiculous thing ever. I talked to this guy one time. He said he spent $4,000 on flowers. What? To each his own. It would never be me. I'm like, you know what we could do with $4,000? I wish you would. But he was living a different lifestyle at the time. Had more than enough money to spend on that and then some. And who knows how much he spent on her ring and dress and all his stuff. They're divorced now. But yeah, we're going to leave that alone. So I'm divorced now too. So I'm not bragging on him. But my point is, do not think that to avoid fornication, you need to link your whole entire life and permanency to another person. Don't do that, guys. And I'm saying don't do that because when it comes down to it, when I did that, okay, that was part of my rush. Okay, when I did that, all the problems that I tried to overlook so that I can get to that part, they were just magnified because now we're under the same roof doing life together. And before I could have gone home and just called you and said, hey, all right, have a good night. Now I'm literally in the house with you. I'm in the house with you around the clock. We literally have children. We're doing bills and life. And I got to see you day in and day out and day in and day out and day in. And I'm seeing you every day. And we're not really digging each other like that. But we're married. So, guys, when the reality of it hits you and you realize that you have linked your life to a person and you overlooked a lot of different things because you wanted to be able to be guilt-free and having sex, trust me. Trust me. I mean, you don't have to trust me. You can go do it for yourself and see. And then you're going to be like, yo, I should have listened. Yeah. But guess what? We all have to learn in our own way. We all have to learn, we all have to go through this journey called life. We got to do what we feel is best for ourselves. And let me tell you, if you feel like it's best for you to go experiment, go ahead. But don't be guilty. And another thing with divorce, I'm going to talk about that in the second one. Let me not do that right now. But don't get married to avoid fornication. I know what the scriptures say. Where did I put that scripture at? It's like 1 Corinthians chapter 6, verse 18. Something like that. I put it. Yep. 1 Corinthians 6 and 18. 1 Corinthians 7 and 9. One of them says it's better to marry than to burn. And the other one says, hold on. Let me just pull it up. I got my Bible right here. Because I know how y'all are. Y'all, I used to be like one of the most hardcore Hebrew Israelites that you ever want to meet. I still have the knowledge. So don't do that, because my first step in becoming a Hebrew Israelite was to dispel all the myths of Christianity. That was my first step. That was our first step. From Sunday worship, which is the first day of the week, and so many more things. Yeah. So I love people. I love people's passion. I love how we're all seeking the Most High's face. I love how we are trying to work and walk circumspect, how we're sincerely looking for truth. At this point in my life, I just want what's real and true. I'm tired of the lies. There's so many lies. As I do more research and study, so many lies that were taught. Like right now, Easter's coming up. They'll say, what's the bunny rabbits all about? What are the chocolate eggs and there's so much paganism. There's so many things. It's just really annoying. And I just get tired of it all. I really do. I get tired of people overlooking the paganism and saying, well, it's just this, it's just that. No, it's just pagan. It's just pagan. It is. And I don't do any of that stuff. It says flee fornication. This is 1 Corinthians 6:18. Flee fornication. Every sin that a man doeth is without the body, but he that commits fornication sins against his own body. Okay, that's that one. And then the other one is 1 Corinthians 7:9, which is right on the next chapter. But if you cannot contain, let them marry, for it is better to marry than to burn. So they're saying that people back in the day, they wanted to be physically active, sexual with each other, but some of them were not able to contain themselves, and they might have given into it and just done it. And he was saying, you know what? Therefore I say to the unmarried and to the widows, it is good for them if they abide even as I, because he was actually someone who was not married. But he was saying it's good if they cannot be married, but if they can't contain, meaning if they can't be chaste or they can't have that discipline to not be physical with each other, then let them get married, for it's better than to marry than to burn. Now, there's so many things in that I could unpack that I'm not going to at the moment. However, for people who are, understanding that you really should not just link your life to somebody just for the sake of saying, okay, now it's safe for us to be physical with each other. Don't try to get guilt-free in a moment to have physical intimacy with somebody just to turn around and then have your whole life where you're trying to undo that, because then you're going to end up somewhere. It might work. It just might work. You might be able to be one in a million people who get married to avoid fornication, and it actually turns into something beautiful. You never know. But don't let that be the sole reason that you get married. I'm going to wrap this up because it's way longer than what I wanted it to be. And I just want to tell you guys that you have to make sure that when you are walking in your walk, right, that you are being mindful to seek truth, okay? Do research, seek the truth. Always look for what's real and what's true. And everything's about perspective. It really is, guys. All right? So thank you so much for joining me this evening or today. And this is Living the Line. My name is Nadeja. If you have any comments, like, comment, and subscribe down below. If you have anything that you would like to share with me or your perspective on that about avoiding, don't get married just to avoid fornication. Just is the key word that I want you to hang your thoughts on, because if you do it just for that, you're going to have a crappy marriage. All the problems that you tried to ignore and just wanted to get into the bedroom, those are going to be magnified. You're going to end up disliking the person, resenting them, and end up wanting a divorce. Ultimately, you're going to start hating marriage. There's going to be so much that comes with that. So don't do it. Okay? Don't do it. I know what the scripture's saying. I'm not telling you to go against that, but don't let that be the sole reason that you commit your whole life, link your whole life to another person. Okay? All right, guys. Take care.